Fall Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer, fansided.com. I'm joined today by the hardest working man in digital sports media, a man who only cares about a brand new bag if he can stuff his 9-iron into it. Papa's got a brand new tea time. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. Get up off of that thing. How are you?
I wasn't ready for that last part.
No,
I
you
really
weren't.
wasn't. I wasn't at all. I'm doing good, man. It's Masters week. We're here. We're ready to go, and it's the best time of year, man. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I'm ready to rock.
I got you. You feel good, right?
I feel good, man. I feel good.
Yeah, it's Masters Week here, which is basically growing up in the South and growing up in Atlanta. This is when it's officially springtime. It's not spring until you see the azaleas in bloom on CBS on Saturday and Sunday at Augusta.
Mhm.
And then before that place becomes the hottest place on planet Earth.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's supposed to be really nice this week, and like I've never been to Augusta in April, and let me tell you, every time I've been, it's not been like mid 70s with low humidity.
Yeah, it's like 110 degrees in August.
With 98% humidity.
So we got some Masters themed stuff today, and we're gonna finish the show up with some JLN with Augusta native James Brown, because
That's
why
right.
not?
How can we not? How can we
How
not?
could, how could we not? And why would we not? We've obviously very clearly fall started here, so we're going to start with our first and 15 with some good bull. It's Masters Week. Cody is so excited. The boys are going to talk about college football somehow related to this. So we did absolutely no prep for this. Like Tony Romo, who
Yeah.
plays a lot of golf. This is great.
No, we didn't, but like I have been, formulating some college football tangential thoughts this morning, looking at the early tee times, early guys getting out there. And the first one I had is so this is Bernard Longer, who won the Masters in 1985. He is playing his last Masters this year. First off, he's been incredible for a guy in his 60s, like consistently flirting with making the cut. A lot of the older guys who get out here, like it's very performative, like they're not really doing a whole hell of a lot. And so Longer being as successful as he has been throughout here, over 40 years is quite impressive. Made me think of Cam Rising, man.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time
yeah.
he's out there, it's successful. He's been there a hell of a long time.
Cam Rising got Kirk Ferentz, still pretty
That's
successful.
right.
Not everybody can be Fred Couples, apparently.
No, no, not at all.
Did Fred Couples win the Masters, or is he just
Yeah, no, he's a master champion. Yeah, he's playing this week, and man, no, I love it. One of my favorite things in the world, and Fred Couples fits in this bill like beautifully, is dudes in their 60s who tweet. It's my favorite thing in the world. I just
yeah.
love it so much.
Or dudes in their 70s who are now tweeting like Bill Belichick. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. So I was sitting there thinking about this. So when you go to Augusta National, it's like you're going back in time. You have to take all of your your phones and put it away in a little cubby, and you're walking around, and you have to like find people like you did when we were growing up. You just be home by supper, boy.
Meet me by the 16th green at 5 o'clock. Like
Yeah.
that's what you're doing.
God, isn't being accountable great? Like,
It's wild, wild stuff.
so which person in college football would have the easiest time with that, and who would have the hardest time with that?
The easiest time, Dabo Sweeney. No, no question about it. Like he's
Yes.
got that itinerary out when you go in there. Like, and he's got it printed out too, because obviously you can't have your phone. So he's got printed out itineraries for everyone, where to meet, where to be, and at what time. If you're 5 minutes late. No, wait, sorry. If you're on time, you're 5 minutes late. That's what it is, and that's Dabo Sweeney. Hardest time, I would probably have to go with first of all Antonio. But second of all, second of all, I feel like Drink. I feel like Drink would get really caught up in the moment.
Send me that itinerary bass player. But yeah, Dabo is perfect. Dabo is perpetually stuck in like 1992 listening to
Oh
Jock Jams.
yeah.
CCR, maybe some James Brown, a sneak preview there. It's all about gospel anyway.
That's right.
I would say the guy that would have the hardest time with it is Carson Beck because he's addicted
Oh,
to Snapchat.
there we go. That's a good one. SEC
uh,
quarterbacks at large, honestly, at this point.
yes, we'll try to think what else would be good. Who trying to think what the best word is. Like, who is most likely to like they know nothing about golf. They want to be there. They'll pay whatever it is just to get the apparel.
Mm. That's a good question. So I actually wrote something about this for fansided.com that you should check out about I don't know if you're on TikTok, like I'm sure the Arizona State podcast has seen some of these, but Masters merch hauls are a thing. Like that's a thing that people show off and flaunt. And went and did some research about how much the average Masters merch haul costs. Not even the average merch haul. The average attendee, the average patron at the Masters spends $246. And that, I mean, that's just absurd because like the prices aren't that outrageous. Like a
No.
t-shirt's gonna run you like $30, a hat's gonna run you $30. And like the gnome, even like the famous gnomes, those are still $50. Like I buy three of those things, I'm still barely at $100. So like $246 is a hell of a lot of money. And you gotta think, A, not everyone is buying stuff. B, by Saturday, Sunday, that tent, the shops are cleaned out. They don't have anything left. So, like, literally in like a 4 day span, like you've got probably people averaging like $600 in the merch tent. Who's going to spend the most there? It's going to be Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is decked out in master stuff. You know he is.
I would venture to guess that Lincoln Riley and Lane Kiffin would be all about it too.
No, see, Lane Kiffin's the guy who doesn't know. He's never been to the Masters, but has all the Masters garb. He knows a guy who goes and just like loads up for him.
Hmm. And then Lincoln Riley's like brown nosing his way into like the into the 18th green to watch everybody win and stuff like that. And
Oh
everyone's
yeah,
like, Tiger Woods is like, get the F away from me.
yeah. No, Lincoln Riley's the guy like sitting on the practice range trying to dap up everybody, and it's like you're a grown ass adult. Get away from me.
So you mentioned that like every patron averages $246 worth of stuff. First off, the food's nothing.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like legitimately, if every restaurant in the world was priced like the Masters, we'd be in a great place as a society. A
like
barbecue sandwich for $3. You go to any barbecue restaurant in Atlanta, that's $15
like
easy.
a Big Mac's like double that, five
Yeah,
bucks.
exactly.
Oh my God. And then the real answer is whoever was the most that would be Rosemary Zenke, 100%. Yeah, it's just like you said the gnome and I'm like we're getting this.
You got to. I mean, it's holding the peach ice cream sandwich this year. What more could you want?
I mean, we gotta get two. We gotta get one of like every color of the
That's
rainbow.
right.
We have them in Olympics colors because like we need that in our tiny one bedroom apartment. That's what we need.
Hey, once every 2 years, winter and summer, you can line them up in the Olympic rings, and it'll be precious.
I mean, my sister did name her dog Izzy after the 96 Living mascot.
Love it. That's awesome.
To be fair, my brother-in-law named it after some like what cage fighter. And I'm like, Sarah's like, no, this is stupid. Like this is this no, no, we're not doing this. It's Izzy the mascot from the
That's right.
Olympics. But yeah, I'm excited about this. Just kind of favorite Masters memories. I think we both say Tiger winning it for the back of what in 19. That I
Yeah. Oh
listened
yeah.
to him. That was a big one. Obviously, I loved seeing Bubba Watson win it back in what 12 and 14.
Hmm.
Go Dogs. Yeah, that was a big one for me. I also remember trying to think who else was there. Definitely Tiger growing up. VJ back in the
Yeah.
day was good. Mike Weir winning at 03 sticks, I think, for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
remember the Mike Weir one too, weirdly, because like it was coming off. Tiger won back to back in '01 and '02. And like that's when I really got into golf was '01 and '02. Like I knew of Tiger. I would watch it on Sundays with my family when we would get together for dinner after or for, lunch after church and stuff like that. But I I didn't really get into it until like '01, '02 when Tiger. And so like after Tiger going back to back, I'm like, hell yeah, Masters week, let's go. And then Mike Weir comes out of nowhere, the lefty Canadian coming out here. Shouts to Ian McMillan though. Always places a bet somehow on Mike Weir for the Masters because he can't quit him.
Can't quit Mike Weir. Can't quit the Toronto Blue Jays, and this is false start.
Yeah.
Also, I had no idea Austin Matthews was American. I found that out the other day. He has a giant forehead too, like Walton Goggins.
Dude, you've gotta you go into every hockey, like figuring out hockey players, like you go into it just assuming that they are not American. Because that's just
No,
not like when we grew up, like hockey players were not American. Like there just were
no,
not a lot.
there were a handful. I mean, we all knew what like Mike Madonna, Brett Hull,
Yeah.
I guess, Brian Leach, Mike Richter. Trying to think who else is American. Darian Hatcher, just getting fired up.
Yeah, but I mean like the greats, like
Yeah,
like Mario Lemieux was like the one of the best players when we were growing up and stuff like that. Like Henrik Lundqvist, all these guys, like uh
Joe Sakic.
Joe
Yeah,
Sakic and Patrick Waugh, like all these guys.
wow.
Yeah, Waugh, spelled Roy, but Waugh. And but like yeah, like we grew up in our era where like the biggest names were not American. So it's very weird to see Austin Matthews being as good as he is and being very American.
Yeah, from Scottsdale. He's not Nicholas Lindstrom. He's better.
That's right.
What Scotty Scheffler won it last year,
And in
and
2022 as well.
okay, so he's
Or
won.
sorry, 2020. Yeah, 2022.
So he's won two of the last three.
hmm
Who is your pick to win the tournament this year?
Uh, Against my better judgment and definitely setting myself up for emotional despair. I'm all in on Rory again this year.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's a tough scene out here, but he's playing really good golf, man. It's one of those things. The stat that really stood out to me and kind of pushed me over the edge because he's already won twice this year, which he's never done in a calendar year before the Masters. He's never won twice coming in. So I mean that's a good sign in and of itself. But the thing is, with how he's playing consistently, the driver's always been his biggest weapon. When he was at his peak in like 2014, the last time he won a major, he was gaining or the strokes gained that he was getting, like that's the advanced analytics in golf, in case you weren't aware, is like they call it strokes gained. 60% of his strokes gained on the field were coming off of the tee. He was just so dominant with the driver that no one could keep up. It's still his greatest weapon, but only 37% of his strokes gained this season are coming off of the tee. So that means he has a most complete game that we've ever seen from him. So that's my nerdy golf analysis of why I'm going with Rory. It's going to backfire terribly.
yeah.
He's not going to win, but here I am.
Has he ever won the Masters before?
No, he needs the Masters to
And
complete the
that's
career
why.
Grand Slam. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not betting him to do that. This is a so um not to pick Scheffler, not to pick Bubba. I don't really follow golf at all. So
Yeah.
is DeChambeau playing this? I figure
Oh
like
yeah.
having
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The big golfers playing.
I figured just having him win would just piss everybody off, like that guy Patrick Reed back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then who was the guy that was in prison that came out?
Oh, Angel Cabrera, man.
That's my other pick too.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go with some TIN 10 with a tradition unlike any other. What are the 10 best traditions in college football? We
Mhm.
talked about this a little bit off air, and this is going to be dumb. And if you're going to make falling to pieces that we didn't mention yours, you can kiss my ass. This is all about ones we like.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be clear, I have zero emotional attachment to any of these. Like, whatever, but like, these are things that I think are cool in college football.
Okay, perfect. This is the stuff that I'm like, this is a tradition. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this one gets me fired up. And like, I don't want to do like the whole rich and pageantry thing. Like, I don't care about your fight song. I don't
No,
care about what your marching band does. I care about other things.
I have one marching band on here, but I
That's
think
fair.
they deserve it.
That's fair. Okay, I'm gonna start.
Okay,
Number 10, I've got the Factory with Eastern Michigan with the Sledgehammers coming
love
in.
it.
It's the only G5 I got on here. This basically reminds me of like how good the Eagles have become under Chris Creighton. I figured that like, Ryerson Field was gray for a while. It's now Crosby Field because Max Crosby has donated a bunch there. I just kind of feel that when you're creating a new tradition or something like that that resonates with people, I can get behind it. It's unique, it's different, it's blue collar, it's the Mac. I love it.
No, 100. That's a really good call. Did not have it on my list. Let's be honest, I did a lot of this off the dome, so like
Yeah, that's fine.
that did not come to mind. But I mean, you're right. When it is a new tradition, you want it to kind of speak to everything that the program's about. That's a blue collar program. The MAC is a blue collar league. So like having something that just really speaks to that, I think fits right into what you want from that.
Yeah.
And at number 10 for me, speaking of things that just speak to what the programs are, call it on the Hogs in Fayetteville, Arkansas, baby. Woo Pig Suey. Dude, I mean, like,
Big Suey.
I think what stands out to me about it is you couldn't do this anywhere other than Arkansas
No.
without being looked at like a complete lunatic. And so like it fits where you are so perfectly. And also it's unique. Like they're not replicating something that someone else does. Like this is very much their own thing. And I really appreciate that.
I did not have this listed. That's a great one. This is what this is all about. Like,
Yeah.
they're the only Razorbacks out there. They're the only Power Four team in Arkansas. Yes, you have Arkansas State at G5, which is starting to pick up some momentum there. But then it's like, I think my friend James went up there to tailgate in Fayetteville back in the day, and he's like, dude, I don't know what's in the water up there. It's different.
It's different, man.
it's the northwestern corner of Arkansas. I'm like, how is this even in the SEC? And then we added Mizzou, and then we added Oklahoma, and now it doesn't matter. But yeah,
Now it's super southeast.
Suey. Okay. At number nine, against my better judgment, I'm going to go with a relatively new tradition. I'm going to go with Florida singing "I Won't Back Down." I think
Okay.
that's been a good one too. Obviously, Tom Petty is one of my all-time favorite artists. My dad's favorite artist. It's Benji's
Yeah.
favorite artist. And I think they did this shortly after Tom Petty passed. They sing this between the third and fourth quarter. Obviously, Florida football's been down. Basketball teams not. And I think it's cool. It's uniquely Florida, and I think that like it's a rallying cry, and it's one of the few cool things that Florida does. So congratulations, Gators.
So I had that at like 13, like in that range, like
Okay.
just missing the cut. But I did think about it, and it doesn't quite do it for me. I also just have some. I'm not even a Georgia fan, and I have like a little bit of like I don't care about Florida at all,
No.
kind of in my blood. So like that kind of plays into it. Excited to see what they do in the 25 season, but in terms of general tradition, I don't care. Uh Things I do care about are country roads. And so I'm going
Yeah.
to West Virginia, and after a home win, hearing that Morgantown crowd all lathered up, let's say, singing country roads. There's something about it, man, because like I feel like 9 and 10 are very much tied to one another. Like those are the biggest parties in town every Saturday throughout the fall. Like West Virginia football and Arkansas football. That's all there is to do in
Yeah.
Fayetteville and Morgantown. And I think the traditions that we see from those programs, they really they resonate with me because it's like, man, there's so much passion here that like yes, you could be, at home cooking dinner with your wife or whatever, but you know what? You're drunk in the middle of a freezing cold night singing country roads because your football team just won. There's something beautiful in that.
That was number 11 for me.
Okay.
Just so, but you're absolutely right though. Like you're basically for Arkansas, you're going from Little Rock, and
Hmm.
from Morgantown, you're coming from Pittsburgh. So like you're leaving like relatively big cities to go somewhere else about an hour and a half away
Yeah.
to get fired up. Teams haven't won a bunch of late. They're respectable now, like
Yeah.
mostly winning about 6 to 8 games a year. But like we know what those two programs can be historically, and that's why we hold them to such a high standards. Thank God, Arkansas was not. We thank God this program was not going when we were first starting writing back when we were like 25.
Oh my
That's nothing was said
God.
of Arkansas.
It would have been bad. And to the point with West Virginia, like I'm excited to see the kind of I'm expecting a shift in the fan base because it seems like currently the fan base is a little torn about Rich Rod
Yeah,
returning. Um, Man, Rich Rod's a good coach. And I
yeah.
think West Virginia's going to win more games than they have been. And I think that West Virginia fans are going to be like, oh, this was the right hire and get real hype real quick.
I mean, he's from there. He played for Don Nalen. He
Oh, yeah.
replaced Don Nalen. He's
Like, people
probably
make
like,
mistakes, man. Let them make a
yeah. And
mistake.
let's be real. Like the Michigan job is like one of the few you leave your alma mater for. It.
Yeah.
You have to like, you can't blame him too much. And obviously, he's learned, or maybe
Yeah.
he's just witchwad.
I mean, like I truly believe like yes, part of it is, kind of working your way back, but at the same time, like, brother, he was coaching at Jacksonville State. You don't
Yeah.
coach at Jacksonville State unless you love this game. Like that's really what it
Yes.
boils down to.
And right there, I feel that. So number eight, a little bit of a homer pick here, but I put one from Georgia just ahead of Florida, and that's who's that coming down the track?
There we go. I like it.
Yeah, I was trying to find like the right Georgia tradition. Like, I don't want to do the whole like the point at the guy playing the trumpet up in the corner, or I don't want to hear about the silver britches. I'm like, what made me a Georgia football fan? Me singing that song after we won, hammered off my ass.
Yeah.
The
What?
Mean
Of
Machine Red and
course.
Black. That's what it's all about, man.
So did not make the cut for me.
That
It is a
that's
good
that's
one
fair.
though. It
That's
is
fair.
it is a good one though, and I do enjoy it. Obviously, that's not what made me a Georgia football fan.
Yeah.
So like, I don't have the personal ties, but totally respect it. But talk about who's coming down that track. It's the Sooner Scooter, baby. And
Yeah.
mostly, I love this just because there's always that anticipation, like. Are they going to keep all four wheels on the ground? Are they going to stay? Are they going to stay upright today? And there's something beautiful in that. That when you're watching a potential disaster happen every time it goes on the field.
Yeah, I think I had that one in the top 15 or something like
Yeah.
that too. Mostly because like I'm like the Sooner Skinner, great name, and obviously Oklahoma is really proud fan base and everything like that. Biggest thing in town, but then again, you're not that far away from Oklahoma City.
Right.
It's like whatever, but I think it's like I really would have put this up there just for the chance of it flipping, and I
Yeah.
kind of felt like a jerk there. So like I was like,
I,
you know
I'm
what?
I'm willing to be
No,
the jerk. I'm
no,
willing to be
that's
the jerk.
That's okay, but that's definitely a top 15 one for here. Number seven for me, that'd be Victory Cigars.
Oh God, I did not even think of this one. That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
I think just the pettiness of it all. Like, I don't care for Alabama or Tennessee, but like this is Tennessee's biggest rival. This is Alabama's number two to Auburn, one of the best tertiary rival or secondary rivalries in college football. It's why that like they can't get rid of this game, just like they can't get rid of Deep South's rivalry between Georgia and Auburn. This is just what makes the SEC different. Tennessee was getting their teeth kicked in. Alabama was smoking cigars. They gave one to Butch Jones as
That's
an
right.
analyst. I did think it was kind of lame that Seth McLaughlin did one on our scooter back in the day after beating them in the playoff. But like
Yeah.
again, now I've said about this, like you know what, this is a little more petty. Snap the ball better, bud.
Yeah, I mean, like snap the ball better, but also like I appreciate that the pettiness even like survives through the transfer portal. Like I
Yeah.
also think it was a little lame, but I also appreciate the pettiness surviving that as well.
The last little bit I'll have with this one is like they obviously get fined for it, and both the schools just waive it. They don't care. Like it's pretty good for a very lopsided rivalry defined by streaks. It keeps it interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I went, this is definitely not as cool. Well, I take that back. Not cool is not the right word. It's definitely not as celebratory, but the Kinnick wave, man. And I say it's definitely cool because the Kinnick wave is one of the, it's an emotional moment. Even though it happens every Iowa home game, like it is still an emotional thing to see everyone kind of stop what they're doing and wave at the Children's Hospital, have the kids wave back. Like it's one of those things that it's just hard to put into words how much we put a lot of emotion into this game, being fans, being analysts of the game, and like it's one of those things that kind of brings it full circle in that way.
I have I've got Kinnick Wave coming up here in a little bit, so I'll
Okay,
talk
yeah,
about that more. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite traditions they've got out there for sure.
it's
Great
awesome.
one, great one. It's a great one. So that's seven. Number six, the exact opposite of the Kinnick Wave. I've got neck.
Is the exact opposite of the Kinnick wave.
Um, so yeah, they play "Talk It Out the Side of Your Neck" by like what I think it's Cameo, I think back in the day.
That's right.
It's very inappropriate because they say I'll say the initials STTDB. There we go. Like that's the best. When they were hitting neck after Burrow, I'm like, this is a vibe, and I love
Oh yeah.
this.
Oh, 100%. Like when LSU was good, Neck hits in a different way.
Yeah, this is how you know my list is getting a little wild here. So who do you have at six?
So I had Neck at 11, to be clear. It just missed the
Okay.
cut, but I was like, gotta love Neck. So I'm probably lame for having this one. Man, I like the play like a champion today sign at Notre Dame. I really do like it. I think it's a cool thing. I think it's something that it's not necessarily that performative. Like it is on the way out. Like it's right there. It's not like I've got to jump up and touch it. Like it's just like it's a cool thing to, and like I don't know, just a good reminder. And I think once again, like I value like how much it is indicative of the program and like play like a champion today. Like that's kind of Notre Dame's mantra through and through, not just in terms of quality, but in terms of like the human beings that they try. Like they are very much a culture-based program, and that's something that I think ties into that.
I think I had that at 14. I was looking for a Notre Dame tradition, and the reason I didn't have this is because I think I'll give my all for Tennessee is very similar, and
Oh yeah,
that's really the big dividing factor there for me with that. But yeah, it's certainly unique. Drink like a champion, play like a champion,
that's right.
verb like a champion. This is false start. I love that. Number five, roll in Toomer's corner.
It's also what I have at number five.
Okay, so my sister is an Auburn grad, and I went down there for a game one time. That's where I met Antonio, the Sig New Poncho guy.
Mhm.
This was also Parrot Shirt and Hair game, and remember being in Sky Bar having just copious amounts of gin and tonics and vodka sodas being thrown in my head and whatever it is. Just seeing the Auburn faithful just losing their effing mind, looking for toilet paper. You got any toilet paper?
Oh
And
yeah.
uh, and this is back before Harvey Updike poisoned the trees. But like, it stems from like they beat the number two out of Alabama when they were ranked number two, and it just shows that like a seminal moment in their biggest rivalry, where a small ag college town all comes together And I don't think anybody celebrates big upset wins quite like Auburn. I think that that's what makes Auburn a very unique program, and that's why I hold them to such a high standard. Because like I hate losing to them, but I always know that they're a threat, and because I know what happens. God's an Auburn fan.
Yeah, no, and like I think what makes Rolling Toomer's Corner and like you said about Auburn fans, what makes Auburn fans special is like, man, no one cares like an Auburn fan. Like truly Auburn fans are a different breed of human being. Like I truly believe that deep in my soul because you obviously expect a lot of success, but you also get punched in the nuts like routinely. And like to withstand that as much as you do and still be as passionate as you are, like that takes a special type of person.
Oh yeah, you gotta wallow in the sadness and celebrate the highest. Be the most wide-ranging person. First for me, that's exhausting. Like I just try to make every day low key good, but for
Yeah,
them it works.
100%.
And for number four, this works for them. I've got Ralphie at four.
I didn't have Ralphie, man. I was too scared for Coach Prime.
You have a live female buffalo running out in the field. There's people who train their whole lives to run with this buffalo. It can't be a male buffalo because it will actually kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're fired up about this when Colorado is going like 1-11, beating just Cal. Again, Colorado in Folsom Field is majestic. They're dressed like cow people. Yeah, cowboys, cowgirls, yeah, whatever it is. I just think that like just I don't know how much longer it's going to keep going, but it's going. And win or lose, CU's doing it. Ralphie.
Gotta love Ralphie. You can't like I like legitimately I didn't put it on here because I was scared for Coach Prime. And like that's what it boils down to. But like it is a wild thought to consider that like you go to Yellowstone and they're like, hey, stay the hell away from the bison, stay away from the buffalo. And Colorado's like, hell no, let's run onto the field with one of these sons of guns.
Body your mind, hell no.
It's what I'm saying. It's a wild choice. Perfect choice in my opinion. We're going to Blacksburg, Virginia. Inner Sandman, man.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. It just that's what it is. Like it is a vibe that is really hard. Like in terms of creating an environment, you're going to have a hard time finding something better than Inner Sandman. Like it just, especially to start the game too. I think that's what really stands out about it is like maybe it's a sleepy Thursday night ACC. You're on the CW. Like there's not a whole lot of excitement. By the time Enter Sandman gets done, that crowd's going to be lit, and that's what you want from a college football tradition.
Yeah, it's in my top three. I'll talk about that here in a
Okay.
little bit. I've got nothing but good things to say about entertainment. So top three. Here we go. At number three for me, I've got the Grove. Just the
Oh
Grove.
yeah, just in general, absolutely.
It's the mecca of tailgating. You need your blue blazer, you need your red solo cup. Maybe not talk politics, maybe talk something else, but just drink some brown liquor and maybe watch the Rebels win.
That's right.
Yeah,
Definitely
just
playing some cornhole.
playing some cornhole and some OCMS, and this is false start.
That's right. A lot of OAR playing. It's just all ubiquitous.
That's the brown liquor sport, and to tell you that OAR sucks. It's okay. I don't plan on going to Rockville, Maryland anytime soon, so who
No,
cares?
no, not at all.
Who do you have at three?
So at three, hold on. Oh, this is where I have the marching band. I have the Ohio script and dot in the I. And it's not just the Ohio script, it's more just the Ohio State marching band. Like that's kind of the tradition that people go there. But like I as someone who struggles to just walk generally, like I run into S all the time. The fact that these people are playing instruments and doing the things that they're doing with the Ohio State marching band kind of blows my mind half the time I see it. Do I think that they always like hit the mark with what they're trying to do? No, some of the stuff like falls pretty flat, like especially when they're trying to troll Michigan. I'm like, brother, you're in the marching band, like it's not that cool. But at the same time, like I couldn't do what they do, and that's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, I did not have any marching band stuff on here.
It's fair.
Like life story, like my middle school band teacher was kind of a jerk, and
Hmm.
he made me hate music. Best thing my mom ever did is maybe drop out of band at eighth grade. I'm like, I want to play travel baseball. That allowed me to learn to play guitar. And by doing that, it's like, okay, I want to go to Athens because that's where REM is from, and that's how I found college football, and that's how I did this. So like
Nice.
because of uptight marching band guys who wear whitey tighties, I'm here. So congratulations.
Hey, dude, shouts to bad middle school band teachers because I wanted to go into band when I was going into sixth grade, and my mom, like, the middle school band teacher at my middle school was a infamous to say the least for having a little bit of a short fuse. And I don't know if you know this about me, Bueller, but I'm not a good person to have around with someone who has a short fuse. I have a tendency to burn that fuse up pretty quick. And my mom
Yeah.
was like, "You will kill each other." And I was like, "But I want to, all my friends are taking bans." She's like, "You're not taking bans. Like it will not happen. I'm not getting a phone call saying that you and Mr. Name Redacted got into like a physical altercation."
You could have learned saxophone, but you were too fired up.
That's
So
right.
congrats.
Always fired up.
Duke Silver. That would have, I don't know. They were like, you don't get to pick what you play. You're playing this.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah. So I did not have that for any bad stuff. Number two, I've got Inner Sandman.
Okay, okay. I think we might have the same number one if we're trending in the
No,
same direction. No?
no,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no. Inner Sandman, I felt like, well, first off, you're in the Appalachian Mountains. It's kind of sleepy. Lane Stadium just goes. And they basically created this tradition out of nothing. We need like a cool song to do it. Obviously, we grew up with Beamer Ball in the Big East days, and that being a different sort of vibe. And one of the times that we were back from COVID, probably the first game back, was Virginia Tech was hosting North Carolina with Sam
Yeah.
Howell, and they
Hmm.
played it, and it elicited a reaction out of me. Um, and I'm just like, okay, we are back, we are going, we are thriving. And if you have the one for number one, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm sure you probably do. Yeah.
So at number two, I have I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation just so you're aware of this, but I have Chief Osceola. Am I close?
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
And like it's just cool, man. And like I like the flaming spear, it gets me hype as an ACC guy. Like that's just like burned into my ACC memory forever. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, as I watch it, I've like Carolina's playing in Tallahassee. I'm just like, we're so screwed. Like they're way too good.
yeah.
They're way too cool for us. Like they're just gonna beat us into the ground.
I almost had the one, but like for like because you're rubbing off on me, I didn't know how to pronounce it. I kind of played to that movie. Like I'm not gonna say it. And I'd the
Hey,
FSU horse guy.
yeah, the flaming spear. We'll call it the flaming spear because that's easy
Yes.
to pronounce.
And at number one for me, I've got the Kinnick wave. I figured that
Okay.
that's yeah. My thought with that was like they're I was making about something besides themselves. They're making about the kids. And
Okay.
after the first quarter, wishing that they were there. I think it's unique. I don't think there's anything else quite like it. It's really wholesome. It basically makes college football for everybody, and that's what this program's about, and that's what Iowa football is about. It's about everybody except throwing the football. So yeah,
Okay, so I'm surprised that like I should have realized you hadn't said Kinnick Wave. You said you had it much higher.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm surprised that my number one is not on your list. Sandstorm, bro.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. I thought you were gonna say jump around. That song sucks. I hate that
Oh
song
no,
so much.
no, no. I
No.
have I have
Oh,
jump around at 12 because I do enjoy the tradition. The song sucks though, so like
yeah.
that's kind of why it falls into 12.
Okay.
No, we've got
Yeah.
Sandstorm at
Okay.
number
Thank
one,
God.
brother. And to me, everything Inner Sandman does, I think Sandstorm and South Carolina fans do just a little bit better. And like whenever Sandstorm starts playing, especially in like a tight game in Columbia, I feel like the opposing team has to feel like they're in like a John Wick movie. Like they know they're about to die. Like they're just the bad guy in a John Wick movie, and it's like, oh God, we stand no chance. I'm disoriented. I'm like, this is just the end for me. And like we like we're very realistic about what South Carolina is most of the time. I think we might, be a little bullish on them this coming season, but like generally we are realistic about what South Carolina is. South Carolina fans are some of the best in college football though, and like they help make this tradition what it is because it can be tight, it can be South Carolina behind. Sandstorm's still going to hit in Columbia, and those fans are still going to get behind it and try to make it a rallying cry, which I think is a really cool thing.
It. I'm gonna try to say this nicely. It works for them. It just reminds me of horrible memories of undergrad.
Oh, I mean, completely fair. The
Yeah, yeah.
song, the song itself, absolute booty cheeks. Like I hate the song. It was the graduating class before me in high school. So class of '08 at West Henderson High School. That was their senior song, was
Oh my God.
Sandstorm. So every assembly, for whatever reason, our tradition or not tradition, but like our thing at West Henderson was the seniors would all come in last and they would come into the senior song and sit in the senior section. I heard Sandstorm no less than like 2 dozen times in a year span. That's too many. That's too many times. And like, but I think like, the 6 to 8 home football games that you're playing at Columbia, South Carolina, that's the right amount of Sandstorm. That's the right amount that you want there.
Our class song was "How Far We Come" by Matchbox 20. No wonder we all grew up to be a bunch of candy asses.
Hey, we actually picked well. We went with "Don't Stop Believing" Journey.
Okay,
So hard, little classic and hard to beat that.
we tried to go with "How I Beat Shaq," and that didn't plan.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, like Sandstorm, it works for South Carolina. And I'll never remember, I'll never forget this. I think they had like some clip about Georgia people in like 14, 15 talking about it. It's like Mark Richt and John Theus. And in that moment, I know like, oh, we are so screwed. We got to make a different change here. It's like there's roosters crowing, there's sandstorm playing, there's towel slinging. It's hot as S out here. It's mesmerizing. And it's just like, just the John Theus, like 5-star out of Jacksonville, just the fear pig, just the fear pig. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
this guy's saw him at Canes once, and I'm like, I hope you're going to be good, man. I think Sandstrom mentally broke everybody on that team. I think South Carolina is why Aaron Murray's not playing in the NFL. Didn't play very much. It's like just this the awful Steve Spurrier just eating Georgia's lunch again.
That's what
God.
I'm saying. South Carolina is John Wick when that song comes on. Like that's what it is. Like you're just cooked after that.
Yeah. Let's recap this and move on.
All right, all right, all right.
All right.
All right, I'll go first. So
You
at
go.
10, I have Calling on the Hogs. At 9, I have Country Roads. At 8, I have the Sooner Schooner. At 7, I have the Kinnick Wave. At 6, I have the Play Like a Champion Today sign. At 5, Rolling Toomer's Corner. 4, Inner Sandman. 3, the Ohio State Marching Band, specifically Dotting the I if we want to get granular about it. At 2, Chief Osceola. And at 1, Sandstorm.
So at 10, TIN 10, I've got the factory sledgehammers there at Eastern Michigan. 9, I've got I Won't Back Down at Florida. 8, Who's That Coming Down the Track at UGA. 7, the Victory Cigars for third Saturday in October. 6, Nick.
Yeah.
5, Rolling Tumors Corner. 4, Ralphie at Colorado. 3, The Grove at Ole Miss. 2, Inner Salmon at Vautech. And number 1, a Kinnick Wave. I'm so glad you did not have Jump Around on there.
Oh
Like I
yeah, no.
can't, I
It's not
can't,
for me, man.
I can't do it. It's the wrong kind of Big Ten energy. I don't
Now,
care.
I do want to mention one that neither of us had in our top 10 just because I know these fans are passionate and they will come after us. And I had South Carolina at number 1 in this. Honorable mention to Howard's Rock.
Yeah.
It's like I think Howard's Rock is stupid, the rock, but I think the run down the hill is pretty cool. So you balance that
Hmm.
out. It's a good tradition.
It's a good tradition. Storming the field after you win is not, and that's why
No.
that canceled it out. But yeah, there's a lot of really good ones out here. We couldn't pick them all. I just went with the ones that resonated with me the most. And just
Yeah.
because I like these ones doesn't mean that I'm right. Doesn't mean that your favorite tradition is stupid, even though a lot of them are. But that's okay.
Yeah. No,
That's college
100%.
football. It's fine. Whatever.
You know what is stupid, and there's a reason it wasn't on my list. The 12th man. Get the hell out of my
Oh,
face.
that's yeah, that's dumb. I almost thought about putting a Nebraska black shirts. That
Mm.
was cool.
The black shirts is cool.
Yeah, and then Mr. Brightside by
Mhm.
Michigan, like just not as good as the other ones.
No, it's not, and also like it's not that tied to Michigan. I think that's kind of one of
No,
my problems with it. Like it doesn't feel like their own. It just feels like they're singing along to a very popular song.
no. What's North Carolina's biggest one? If they have one. Okay.
Brother, it's basketball traditions. We don't have football traditions.
And if they did, you know what it would be? It'd just be proof that we are living in a simulation. Yes, moving on to the next topic. I decided to put College Game Day everywhere for the next season. So 22 dates, basically based off of last year. I think we can safely say that they're going to do week 0 in Dublin for Farmageddon with
Oh yeah.
K-State, Iowa State, and then week 1 it's going to be in Columbus versus Texas versus Ohio State. After
Yeah.
that, I tried the best I could. I tried not to do repeats, although I think I went to Columbia, South Carolina twice and Columbus, Ohio twice. I think that
It
some of
happens.
these are pretty good, but I wrote this for fanside.com. You can definitely check it out. Any thoughts on here that you like or concerns or just pick it apart, whatever you want to do.
So I think my favorite one that you actually have on here is definitely Notre Dame when they're hosting Boise State.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Like I think one of the things that a lot of people when you're predicting the college game day schedule that they kind of overlook is sometimes like when you have a matchup like that, which Notre Dame's going to be a top 10 team probably at that point in the season, week 6 for everyone keeping track at home. But like week 6, like if the schedule breaks the right way, that could be the best game on the schedule. And even if it's not the best game on the schedule, it's a game that's going to have a lot of intrigue. Notre Dame doesn't really have a whole lot of obvious other game days, and like they're going to want to get it to South Bend. So like I like that one a lot, and I think that's actually like a really smart pick in terms of predictions from by you.
That's one of the better ones. I thought some of these are very obvious. Like they're gonna obviously go to Knoxville for Georgia, Tennessee. They're
Yeah,
obviously gonna go to like Oregon and Penn State and University Park. They're obviously gonna do like Penn State, Ohio State. They're gonna try to do LSU, Alabama. I don't know if either team's gonna be still in the playoff at that point.
right.
Georgia, Texas. Um, I went with my gut. I'm like Clemson, South Carolina for Palmetto. I think that's gonna be a fantastic game.
Yeah, and I think that that has a lot to do with the way you and I are both like looking at this season. We're like, we think South Carolina's not a lot, but high chance to make the playoff.
Mhm.
Clemson, borderline lock, if not a lock to make the
Yeah.
playoff. And so, like, two playoff teams like before you even get to conference championship week and in rivalry game, like probably playing for seeding, like that's going to be a game that's going to get a lot of eyes. And especially like it also plays into it, like you talked about it, like you already have Columbus, Ohio in here twice. Like you're not going to have you're probably not going to have Michigan, Ohio State there again.
No, like I said, I had them have a Michigan game early where they're going to go to Norman for a Michigan, Oklahoma. Again, big helmet games. Maybe one of them will be good. Maybe one of them will stink. Maybe they both will stink. But like that's kind of what you're looking for in the early games. We're like, okay, this is an intriguing non-conference matchup. You should be rewarded for it. The
Yeah.
other thing that I thought about here is when it came down to it, I was more inclined to go SEC, ACC because of the ESPN ties. Because
Right.
if it's going to be Big 12 or if it's going to be Big 10, like Big Noon's going to be going there.
Right. And like you have the obvious ones that like it doesn't matter necessarily. Like you mentioned Penn State at Ohio State or Oregon at Penn State. Like we know that College Game Day has no issue technically like doubling up with Big Noon if there's not a obviously like comparable option, which in those cases there's not. Those games are going to be the cream of the crop. That's what everyone's going to be watching. So Game Day is obviously going to be there. But I think you did it like it's smart to think of it through that lens because that's kind of just how ESPN operates. Like, yes, it is to serve the college football fan, but it's also a business.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple of games on here that I didn't do. I don't think I did. I make sure I got this right. I don't think I did third Saturday in October because like I knew that we're going to be going to Tuscaloosa again later anyway.
Yeah.
And you'd already had a couple of other games here. The only two on here that like I found were, for lack of a better word, like difficult. I think I ended up doing what let me see, but I think week 8, SMU at Clemson. I thought
Yeah.
that would be intriguing just because like two ACC powers, we rarely get SMU there.
I mean, and rematch of last year's ACC championship game too.
Yeah. And then the other one that I found for like the quarterfinals, again, we're basing it off of like the same seeding.
Mhm.
I figured getting Iowa State, Ohio State as like a 4 or 5 would be intriguing in the Cotton Bowl. Again, like because they'll do two. They'll do back to back.
Yeah.
And I don't think Iowa State has a chance versus Ohio State, but like I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like rewarding the clones for being pretty good this year. So and then I got Penn State versus Clemson in the national championship right now, which I feel
Love
good
it.
about it now. I'm sure like I'll be wrong. And I did not like the fact that I picked Texas to beat Georgia in the playoff, even
Hey,
though they're going to win at some point.
college football's wild, man. It happens. Shouts to I like it's still like I'm still processing the fact that I get to watch a season coached by Bill Belichick. Like that still like hasn't quite like hit in my heart yet. And so like yeah, I'm prepared for any and all calamity this year.
I got two more questions because I mean, like this
Yeah.
is a lot. Like you got to like look at this list and then look back at ESPN, which I don't want your brain to break on Masters. I want you to watch some golf, brother. Uh, so I think one of the ones I had on here that was intriguing enough, and I think you're probably on the same wavelength as me. Week 4 with Illinois going to Indiana for essentially like, okay, who could be the number 4 seed in the Big Ten if they get 4 teams in? I think that both of those teams have earned that opportunity.
Yeah, no, that feels like you do see on the college game day schedule, and I would say in about the first like month and a half, like there's always a couple matchups that don't necessarily, like you said, have the helmet power, but are actually just really damn good football games. And kind of like one thing I think game day actually does better than people give it credit for is kind of tell the story of a college football season. Like they your points about like who is kind of, who's going to fill that power void and like the upper middle class of the Big Ten, like that's a storyline that ESPN is going to be in tune with, and Game Day I'm sure would love to get their hands on, because there's also a chance that Big Noon doesn't go there because it is
Yeah,
Illinois and Indiana.
right, right, right. I guess like the last thing I'll say before we move on here to the second half of our show. Of the teams I have listed on these 22, who's on there too much and who's not on there enough, or who's not on there at all?
I would say that
I know that's a little,
Alabama might be on
yeah.
here a little much, but it is Alabama, so like it's hard to totally fight that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I guess what makes me say that is what you've already mentioned. Like the LSU at Alabama, there's a chance that game doesn't mean what it normally means.
Right.
And so like that's kind of why that sticks out. And like I've admittedly I am soured on Alabama. Kind of same, well, not same. Ohio State's on here a decent amount, but like at
Yeah.
the same time, it's Ohio State, so I really can't quibble with it.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I think it's a good list. It's pretty balanced. Like, is there a team that stands out to you that you have on here too much?
There may be a little bit too much Alabama and South Carolina love, I think, on my
Okay.
part. And if you were to swap them out, I think like the fact I don't think I have A&M on there once, I think is a little
Mm-hmm.
bit like that's probably the one I would add in there. Not saying that A&M is going to be that good, but like they always play in a game, where like it's gonna be nationally relevant at some point. Like I don't think they're gonna be there at the end, but like I think that they could be interested in there. I also think if BYU gets off to a hot start, they
Mm-hmm.
may potentially go there as well. I don't think I had them on there at all.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always teams that can surprise you. Like if Colorado is good again, there's a
Yeah.
good chance that the Buffs are going to be on there at some
Hmm.
point for Boulder.
Yeah, and if Baylor or Texas Tech is good, like we'll have
Yeah.
them on there as well. Miami is not on here. We could see that too.
I will say, like, now that we're talking this out, one thing that stands out is like in the Big 12, it almost feels like we're in kind of wait and see mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like it's hard to predict which Big 12 teams are going to be worthy of, because like we've talked about it throughout the offseason to this point already. The Big 12, there's like six teams that can win that league this year. Like they're all very good teams, but like we don't know who's going to pull back. We don't know who's going to kind of take a step forward. Like there's just kind of this hodgepodge there. And so like I'm sure that there's some Big 12 representation missing, but when you're doing this in early April, it's really hard to tell you which Big 12 teams are going to be there.
like I feel very confident that Iowa State probably has the highest floor of any contending team,
Yeah.
even more so than Arizona State, which I don't think I have on there at any point. But like there will be Big 12 representation in this as well. The last little bit that I realized is there may no longer be a shoehorning in there of going to Army Navy because like there will be
Yeah.
first round games and the pageantry of that, also the fact that it's going to be a CBS broadcast, like who cares?
Yeah, no, I do think that is there's a chance of that. And we've kind of seen them pull back on the game day experience at Army Navy. Like I remember not it's probably been 4 years ago, which isn't that long in the grand scheme of things. Like they did it out. Like they're doing it like by like on the harbor in Baltimore, like ready to like in like with all of the cadets like in the building. Like it was a scene, and now it's just kind of like, yeah, we're at the stadium. Like we're doing game day at the stadium, and that's kind of what it is.
When they're at that stadium, whether it be Baltimore or Philadelphia, they're asking themselves this one question on if they should be there. Do Hast or do Hast?
That's right.
All right, so Florida has won a national championship, and Todd Golden's third year leading the program of the Gators since Mike White left for Athens.
Mhm.
Still made the tournament for Georgia. That's a huge deal for us. But
Oh yeah.
Cody, do Haas, do Haas. Does Todd Golden winning a national title at Florida this soon put even more pressure on Billy Napier?
I thought about this for a while because I could argue both ways. And
Yeah.
so I had to dig deep and be like, how do I really feel about this? I'm gonna say do Haas 1S. And I think it's because the and I my reasoning that I ultimately landed on is the expectations are different now for Billy Napier. Not but just because of Todd Golden, but after the way you finished last year, after the way you've recruited, after you have DJ Lagway coming into his sophomore season, like with every trajectory of the Florida program and keeping Napier around to keep guiding this, the expectation level has changed. Like there's a lot of Florida fans who expect a college football playoff berth. Like, let's just be real about that. I'm not quite there yet, but like, I do think this is going to be a good Florida team. And like, Florida fans are expecting a big season. Now you have the basketball program winning a national championship, Todd Golden making quick work of this. And that's only going to amplify those expectations that have been raised. Like, okay, we went out, we paid Todd Golden, we got someone who was going to guide this program in the right direction. Why shouldn't we do the same with Billy Napier if he doesn't live up to these expectations as well? So like I do think it's not necessarily like a hot seat talk anymore with Billy Napier, but I do think it absolutely like raises the pressure of the expectations that were already being raised.
We've done this prompt, I don't know, probably like 60 times now. This is definitely one of the three best ones you've ever done.
Yeah, oh no, I love this. Like this is a good one.
And just to be different, I will answer the counter of this because I think this is a very interesting, worthy debate. I will go do Host with two S's.
Okay.
At the end of the day, as long as Billy Napier maintains a good, healthy working relationship with his boss, Scott Strickland, it won't matter. You got to
Mhm.
remember, he's coming over from Mississippi State, and Billy Napier's coming up from Louisiana Lafayette. So, like, they know that, like, what it's like being at that level versus at Florida. They
Mhm.
also know that the schedule is going to be challenging, and you got to ride this out. And I think it would be a shame to move on from Napier after this year with the first year it's fully DJ Lagway's opportunity. But I can also understand your side of the coin as well. Like I could go back and forth here because whatever you were going to pick, I was going to pick the
Right.
opposite.
But I mean,
It,
I think that's the point. Like I said, like I could argue both sides of this because like I see both sides have merit.
okay, so follow me on this. I think this ties very closely into what's going on at Kentucky. I think
Mm.
obviously they get John Calipari out of the building. They bring in Mark Pope. They're basically getting the same sort of level, but a more wholesome, less slimy, greasy version of that.
Yeah.
And that's putting even more pressure for Mitch Barnhart to seriously look at what's going on with Mark Stoops. I think Mark Stoops is probably on the hottest seat, or maybe like he's up there in the SEC. I think
Yeah.
maybe it's Hugh Freeze, but then again, like why would John Cohen hire him? I think Mitch Barnhart's like, okay, we got to really see if Mark Stoops is going to level up or not.
Yeah, and I think that, the Calipari part of that is interesting because I mean like Calipari had been there for a decade plus. Like and like when you talk about Mark Stoops, like that's kind of the big defense is like, oh, he's been an institution. This is Kentucky is not an easy job in the college football world, but like have we like have we kind of hit our ceiling and kind of shrunk from that ceiling? Because like we haven't seen Kentucky at its ceiling in a few years now. And so like in the modern college football, can Mark Stoops survive this? And I'm not quite sure that's the case. And the fact that Barnhart was willing to pull the trigger with Calipari leads me to believe that he would not hesitate to pull the trigger with Stoops if he really does an assessment and is like, we can do better than what we're doing right now.
I think of the SEC with it really leveling up with its coaching on the hardwood. It's like your AD has to look at both, like
Hmm.
kind of pivot back and forth. Like for example, Nate Oates has it figured out there at Alabama. Bruce Pearl's got it figured out at Auburn. That puts more pressure on Hugh Freeze and Kalen DeBoer
Oh
to
yeah.
for Greg Byrne and John Cohen to look at more like intently. So like you have to kind of go back and forth. Okay, like which one of these two money-making revenue sports is not living up to expectations? Obviously, like most schools can't do both at an incredibly high level, just the resources different,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like you can be Georgia being elite at football. Basketball is getting better, but like it's always going to be a football school. You're just happy to make the tournament. Every school is different. It's the same sort of thing maybe with what Danny White at Tennessee. Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to view Rick Barnes versus how are you going to view Josh Heupel? The dichotomy of that is so interesting. I would not envy being an SEC AD at this point.
No, not at all. And when you kind of look at the direction that the SEC is heading in with all these basketball programs taking off, I don't think that they would want to admit it, but they took a page out of the Big 12's book. This is what the
Yeah,
Big 12 has done. Like the Big 12 was like, okay, we're not going to be the SEC in football anytime soon, but let's be the best basketball league in the country. And they were for like 3 or 4 years there. That raised the revenue of these athletic departments. And now we're seeing, like we just talked about with the Big 12, like there's a jumble of teams at the top that can win the league and make the college football playoff, potentially get multiple bids into the college football playoff this year. And I mean, they flirted with it last year too. And like, I truly believe that's a byproduct of them investing in basketball because it got money like being funneled into the programs. Now the SEC is like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Let's just get more money and also raise the level of our college football coaches because we're going to demand more because we're seeing what's happening on the hardwood.
You look at the Big 12 with Texas Tech and everything like that. They get JT Toppin back. Grant McCaslin's doing a great job, basically erasing a Chris Beard here. But all that success in the hardwood for the Red Raiders is good for Joe McGuire, and that probably makes Kirby Hoka, who's a really good AD, like have to really focus in giving on the. They need that money there in Lubbock, and
Oh
like they've
yeah,
got both programs trending up for sure.
the tortilla money. There's always money in the tortilla stand.
Dude, I saw this thing where like somebody was saying like, "Why am I so fat after eating Mexican food?" And then they realized that tortilla chip is a quarter of a tortilla, and then they like got me eating 13 tortillas before my food shows up.
That's incredible.
And those things are like 300 calories a piece, so you're just like
You live and learn. You live and learn.
you live and learn. And but yeah, the Napier Golden dynamic is so it's so either way. Look, I think we turned very quickly. Like they can't get rid of Napier last year. I think we're both like, this is ridiculous, and we want to see this played out. And it goes back and forth, man. Like I think like if they get off to like a 2-4 start, maybe we put him back on the hot seat.
Yeah.
If he's 4-2, then we're going to give him a race.
Right. Yeah. It very thin margins in Gainesville this year with Billy Napier.
100%. And us thinking of very thin margin in gains in Gainesville. We're going to talk about Antonio. We're moving on to some spring break with Antonio. We survived Morgantown, but we're heading to Louisville on Friday and then Alabama on Saturday. So
Mhm.
we're going to Louisville. And Antonio was after just crushing a bunch of Bud Light. He wants to crush Miller's with Miller Moss. He keep telling me Miller time. He's not brand loyal. He's just here for a good time.
Miller time, man. First off, found an NIL opportunity for you, Miller Moss. Miller time t-shirts. It's a
Yes.
gold mine. You need to go do that right now. Unless we copyright it first. But I Louisville's going to be a time like Jeff Brom and Antonio's relationship is a little unique, I think, to say the
Yeah.
least. Like, we love Jeff Brom, and Antonio loves Jeff Brom, but perhaps a little too much. And I think what it really comes down to is Jeff Brom knows how to have a good time, but he's also business first. And Antonio's never had business. So, like, it's an interesting dichotomy between the two.
Yes, it's a little bit like he wants Jeff Brom to like him so much, just like Lance Leipold. It's just not taking. He's like, Brom.com, Brom.com.
Yeah.
And like Jeff Brom's trying to turn around Louisville. The problem is Antonio just wants to keep putting hot brown in his chest.
That's right.
Uh, I'm like,
Yes.
you already have a burn on your shoulder.
Look, this is the season of scars, baby, for Antonio.
Yes, and speaking of this, he wants to ride a horse at the Kentucky Derby. I'm like, I don't know
Oh
if
yeah.
that's happening yet, but he wants to do it.
He absolutely wants to do it. As I will not be joining him. Fun thing about me, do not like horses, will never ride a horse. Not my thing. Just can't do it. So that's gonna be an Antonio alone venture, which makes me more scared for what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting when what Eric Wood, I think the former Bills guy played Louisville. He's gonna show up and
Yeah.
say, "Here's your mangled friend, son."
Here's your Mako blow up doll.
Uh, but he wants he keeps wanting to ask me if Jeff Brom likes my morning jacket.
My morning yakket. I
Yeah.
let us discuss. Is Jeff Brom a my morning yakket fan?
He's got an MMJ hang time room in his office. That's why I want to hang out with him because it's
A
really
hundred
cool.
percent. Yeah, I feel like he's definitely like rocking some jam band at Louisville practices. That seems like the vibe that Louisville plays with, and why the
So
defense is the way it is.
yeah, it just falls asleep.
It just, it gets lulled into a sense of security. For Miller Moss, that's great. He's feeling comfortable back there. He's not worried about any pressure that's coming. For the defense, they're like, it's a good tune. And meanwhile, some dude's 10 yards past them running for a touchdown.
I think Miller Moss has met Antonio before very briefly. I think it
Yeah.
was the USC Nebraska game back in the fall. And I think one of the reasons we're going here is not just to see what Jeff Brom's doing, but I think it would help Miller Moss adapt to being in Louisville because it's very different from USC. And obviously Antonio's under the bridge Antonio from like, Beer Fest. And he's like, I gotta bring something that I know with me to Louisville. Because otherwise we're dealing with a bunch of Frozen King nonsense.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Louisville's going to be a time, and we're also going to have a time there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, speaking of coaches that don't get along with Antonio, Kalen DeBoer, man, like
No,
that's oil and water. It really is. But the thing is Antonio loves Tuscaloosa. Yeah, Alabama fans love him, and he loves them right back. And he is under the mistaken impression that Alabama, much like many mascots in the SEC, has a live elephant in Tuscaloosa this
I
year.
know. I keep telling him that.
And first off, I told him like even if they did, you wouldn't want to deal with that. Like that's a bad time for you specifically, Antonio. But secondly, like no, it's Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's not the right climate. We can't do this.
In a moment of very brief sobriety, he turned to me once. He goes, "El elefante es gris en grande," which means the elephant is fat and large.
It is. I mean, Antonio speaks simple truths.
And that's why it works for him at Alabama. I mean, he claims to have went there, and I think the other thing is I told him that Ken Stabler went there, and he's like Bulldog.
Bulldog,
I'm,
absolute
I'm, I'm
bulldog.
like no snake. Like he doesn't like snakes, but he likes
No.
the idea of snake.
Oh yeah, he likes snake, not snakes. There's a key difference.
No, but I think the big thing is Antonio, since he's a man of the people there in Tuscaloosa, he's going to try to figure out who's going to win the quarterback battle between Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, and Austin Mack. And we told him that's why we're going to figure this out. And you're going to be a sideline reporter. And he's like, uh, sideline reporter like Laura Rutledge. I'm like, sure. I can't
Sure.
I can't believe you could say Rutledge, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was that like I was just floored by that, speech improvement in that moment as well, more than anything. But then he asked me to help pick out his outfit, and he showed me some very nice pantsuits like Laura Rutledge tends to wear on the sidelines, and I was like, Antonio, you can just wear your thong, or you can wear whatever else you want, but like I don't think the pantsuit looks really gonna work for you.
No, he's got he's sideline reporter, so he's got his thong on, the cheetah and leopard print one that he always wears, and then he's got his Paul Bear Bryant houndstooth hat, but he has a card that says press, and
Press, absolutely.
so we gave. I mean, he writes a little bit. It's mostly chicken scratch. It's like reading Charlie Day's handwriting. So
It's Jerry Jones's notebook, basically. He learned it from
so
Yeri. He learned it from his buddy Yeri.
So for this role, we gave him two things. We thought we gave him like something to write with and something to record with. So we gave him a speak and say and an old Palm Pilot.
Hey man, the Palm Pilot's doing work. I don't know if you looked on that thing. It's quite frightening. It's like as an office guy myself, Creed thoughts. He's just got his document that he sends to Ryan every week, and we're Ryan in this case.
Thank God today's Halloween.
That's right. That is really fortunate.
I'm not looking forward to transcribing the audio that Antonio gets because it's mostly going to be the elephant. What does the elephant say?
It's gonna be the Fisher Price like touch animal noises.
I was not ready for that.
Bulldog.
The worst part is when he hangs up recording, it's always okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh man, we're gonna have a great time with that. I can't wait to talk
Mhm.
about that on Monday or Thursday, wherever the hell we figure out we're going next week. I forgot, but yes, we're going. Morgantown was fun. Morgantown was a blast. It was
Oh
a
yeah,
flaming couch,
always a
and then
blast.
Louisville's going to be a hop around, and then Alabama is going to be what it always is.
Oh yeah, it is Alabama through and through.
It is 100% Alabama, and we're going to go 100% Augusta here with our final topic here, with some just like Novocaine. We're living in America, but mostly in Augusta, with the late native son of Augusta, James Brown.
That's right.
This is I
I've
have
got
no
some
I
good ones here, I do believe.
I had a feeling you might. So Papa's got a brand new bag. Who's got that?
Oh, Kurt Signetti got himself a brand new bag, baby.
Yes.
One season in Indiana, go out there and make the college football playoff. They're like, how would you like a hell of a lot of money to stay in Bloomington for a long time? Kurt Signetti was like, yes, sir, I will take that. Papa's got a brand new bag, baby.
And a new lazy boy. I love
That's
that.
right.
I did not have that, but the two I had to avoid overlap. Deion Sanders goes up in the huddle at Colorado and says, Papa's got a brand new bag.
That's right. He brought
And
his
then
own Louis this time.
yes, he did. Set myself up for that. And then Bill Belichick goes up to his 24-year-old girlfriend and says, "Papa's got a brand new bag."
Jesus. I wasn't ready for that.
No, I didn't think you were ready for that.
That's good.
That
That's
is
good.
good. Uh, not to say that Bill Belichick would say it's a man's world, but who would say that?
Come on. It's Mike Gundy. It's a man's
Yes.
world and he's 40, baby. It's a man's world and he's 40. I mean, there's no one who wants to be. I don't even know if he is an alpha male, but there's no one who wants to be an alpha male more than Mike Gundy.
He can't drive 55 on his pontoon boat with his OAN shirt on, and we'll just leave it at that.
That's right.
I mean, he says this, and I don't think he's trying to be sexist. I think he just says it because it's like he believes it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And since I knew we were both going to have that, the other guy had the reason why he's no longer coaching at Charlotte or Homer Hickam, that would be Biff Poggi because he definitely says this.
That's oh dude, he has a tattoo. Don't like that's why he can only wear the cutoff and not go shirtless. It just says it's a man's world down his entire front of his body.
He's like, make this as painful as possible so I remember this and you'll never forget.
That's right.
Who's living in America?
So I thought about this because obviously this is from Rocky Four when Apollo Creed goes out to the ring to fight Ivan Drago. And I thought, which coach would do this, like that type of entrance? And it's Joey McGuire at a recruiting event, baby. Living in America, just shaking babies and kissing hands on the way down the aisle to the podium. Like that's Joey McGuire's vibe, and I love it.
Maybe that's part of it. I think he thinks he's Rocky.
That's
He's just
right.
perpetually concussed. I had a dream one time where Rocky Balboa was studying for the bar exam. He's like, "I gotta stay, Adrian. I gotta stay." I'm like, I don't think you can read. That's fine,
Your dreams are a wild trip, brother.
dude. That's what happens when you eat a lot of salt. The salt dreams, dude. I gotta
The salt
stay.
dreams.
It makes your brain chemistry do a hell of a lot of things.
Hell yes.
So the next two I've got one is Scott Frost back at UCF. The only thing I can explain that for is we're living in
In America.
America.
Land of second chances, baby.
Yes, and the fact that Mike Locksley still has a job at Maryland because
Hmm.
he's living in America.
Hell yes.
I got you. I feel good.
I mean, I feel like Shane Beamer wakes up in the morning and says this to himself in the mirror. Like, truly. Like, he lets out the yelp. He's like, oh. And then he's like, I feel good. And then, like, yeah,
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
like, I imagine Shane Beamer's morning routine looking like a, like, crappy commercial. Like, that's truly what I imagine. And, like, this song has been on many a crappy commercial.
What kind of medicine is he pushing for people? Like pushing Ozempic out there.
No, he's a fit guy. He's pushing like Lululemon. Like he's getting a Lululemon sponsorship and he's like, look at me slip into my man tights this morning.
Put that on my tombstone.
That's right.
So before I get to mine, we're of a certain age. We all discovered the internet at the same time. Remember that clip back when James Brown went on like the local Atlanta news back in the early 80s or something like that? He is recently divorced and he was certainly coming off medication or he was mixing PKs and alcohol and he was just having a time. He's like, I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna I'm gonna be nice. Yes, I remember the clip.
Yes. Yeah, it was a core memory there from I was like 15. So like and I got you. I feel good. I've got Brian Kelly because I figure he's dancing at that his wedding banquets while he's trying to make Robert Sala and Matt LaFleur Valet Park cars. It's like you
Yeah,
can't come up here. I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
love it.
Just
Absolutely.
that man was born 40 years old. Like I'm sure you look at the toddler pictures. Like he just looks like he was born in Grand Rapids, Iowa,
Oh
or
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Cedar
Just
Rapids, Iowa, whatever. I don't know.
not
And then
like a 4-year-old boy genius, just born 4 years old.
no 40. Like he looks like a 40-year-old.
Yeah, yeah,
The Jim Croce of 40-year-old. It's the baby.
absolutely.
The Arizona State podcast. I told her about that from like Monday show, and she's like, "Yeah, it's like that man is
He
that man.
he
He was
aged rapidly. He was one of a kind.
he's like Robin Williams and Jack.
Yeah, truly, truly.
And the other one I got is Davos Swinney because we know he likes to dance at weddings and banquets, and this is one of the few songs that was on his playlist growing up that was
100%.
appropriate, even though it wasn't.
It's one of the few non-jock jams that he can stomach.
Yeah, I know. CCR in this mostly. Get up, get on up. There's also talk about machines. We'll leave it at that. So, which one do you got for this song?
That's Matt Campbell, baby. He's got to get on up this year. Like we sing Campbell's praises all the time. Like he's one of the best coaches in college football. We'll stand by that take forever and ever. But sometime in the 12-team college football playoff, you got to do it. And this seems like the year you got to do it. You got Rocco Beck returning for a third year. You got to get up into the playoff, baby.
I love that. I did not have that here. First one of mine is Gus Malzahn. So he's at Florida practice. He's like, get up, get on up. Come on, boys, let's go.
Break it down, boys. Get on up.
Get up, get on up. And then this one will probably destroy you. I've got Marcus Freeman because the chances that there's a non-zero chance that he was either conceived of the song or has conceived of the song because he's a
just
machine.
just playing the odds at this point.
And a totally different song. Get up off of that thing. That's a different one.
Yeah,
That's what we're gonna finish with.
somehow.
Okay. Who do you got for that?
That's Drew Pine, and that thing that he needs to get up off of is his college football career. We're done here. Like we know what this is. It's not good. You're running. I don't even know like what's the comp here. Like, is it J? It's not even JT Daniels because JT Daniels had a moment where he was good. Drew Pine's never been good. Like he's just
Yeah.
been bad at multiple stops. Like this is a wild thing that he's continuing this.
He's costing taxpayers money. I mean, he's Kirk Cousins. He's Kirk Cousins. That's what he is. Just getting them back.
He's
Um,
costing taxpayers money.
man, people in Arizona, well, they don't care because also, I tell you, I saw the most zony thing on the way back from Phoenix.
Oh God, what'd you see?
So I'm at the airport gate. My flight got delayed for an hour because of the flight crew mostly.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there super early. God, I must have gotten to the airport at like 5:30
hmm
a.m. I saw four different people set the alarm going out to the tarmac. I'm like, this is your job. You don't know how to like, do you not know how to type four numbers and go out to a tarmac? It was just
No.
loud. It was obnoxious. I thought like I regretted every decision of my life. I'm like, I could be sleeping right now. I could have been hanging out with Cody more, but like they were just setting this alarm off all the time. It was embarrassing. I felt bad for them.
It's tough, man. I will say our delay sucks. Shouts to our coworkers, Eric Cole and Stephanie Driver, who were also flying back to Atlanta in the afternoon and did not fly out until 11 p.m. when their flight was supposed to be at 3 p.m. So that's not what you want.
No, it's not. No, not at all. And they don't live in the city like me. They got to go a little bit further
Yeah,
out.
I asked Eric what part of Atlanta he was in, and he said the boonies. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, and Stephanie lives in my hometown, so
Yeah.
that's who that is. All right, get up off of that thing for me. I got Jennifer Cody to get up off that thing. That is Lincoln Riley
Yes.
because like, and I mean that as straightforward as possible. And there's no like,
Yeah.
don't drive it in the ditch. Just get up off of that thing. That guy only wants to go to the Masters and collect hats. You need to get rid of him and
Get
hire
the
Matt
hell out
Campbell.
of here. Get
Get
the
Matt
hell
Camp,
out of here.
get Matt Campbell and get back to being a winner as opposed to a sad boy.
There we go.
And the last one I got here, this will actually destroy you. I've got Mario Cristobal because he's learned how to take a knee and he won't get up. So he's
Yes.
got to get
He
up off
will.
that thing.
Yep. I knew where it was going. I knew where it was going. It's college football's better when Mario's not taking a knee. Come on.
Yeah, it hasn't been the knee.
No, never, never.
The square peg fits in the round hole.
That's right.
I bet he really loves some Metallica because Lars Ulrich will make it fit in 4/4 time.
100%.
This was episode 166 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter at the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Hit that out of the park. Braves lost again.
The Sox have lost three in a row to the Blue Jays. I don't know what's happening. So
Uh, whatever. First baseball game of the year, I watched the Arizona State podcast. She's like, "Are all the awful people in the field still there?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Great, I hate it though. It's great."
Great.
Yeah, like Team Cobra Kai out there, just
Yeah.
doing
Oh
their
yeah.
thing.
100%.
Oh man, we're doing our thing. So yeah, we got the Masters on. Then we got other things. So Cody's going to be totally preoccupied here today and throughout the weekend. Probably not gonna. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna shower, but if you do, I'll be impressed.
It's the Masters has a very nice clean tradition, so I do like to shower in honor of the Masters.
I was also sitting there thinking about this. Like, they always ask the people in like the Butler cabin or whatever, like, you bring your family's meal. Like, what if some guys like, yeah, I just some guy comes in there's like, I get the potatoes and the brown sauce and the stuff that you eat in Europe, like when you're getting bombed over your house. It's like they're making all these people eat this trash.
Okay, man. My favorite thing in the world is the Champions Dinner, which happens on
Yeah, that's what
Tuesday
I'm talking about.
night.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like I like it's so funny to see like the different styles. Like the best one I've ever seen was Hideki Matsuyama's after 2021 because he just got a bunch of Japanese cuisine that sounded all just phenomenal, like Wagyu steak out there. And then you've got Scotty Scheffler doing cheeseburger sliders and like raviolis as appetizers. And I'm like, brother, you could have just gotten Chili's to cater this. Like that's really what it boils down to. But let me get the details of this correct. I understand he's your boy, and I don't dislike the guy, to be clear. But Bubba Watson's Masters Champions Dinner is like infamously like one of the worst things in the entire world. He had Caesar salad, grilled chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes, and confetti cake. Like, think a little outside of the box, brother.
I'd eat all of those things, but I wouldn't eat it in Augusta.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Also, it doesn't shock me that Scotty Scheffler has like, well, he wants Chili's, which is just the personality for that.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's like appetizers, the triple dipper. Like that's what it is.
AJ Hawk, if he was the Masters champion, boiled chicken and rice, and then basically the Cheesecake Factory menu.
The Cheesecake Factory menu and a protein shake.
I don't know how to end the show. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try the
We
best that I
got
can.
it. I feel God in this Chili's, baby.
I feel God in this Chili's. Oh yeah. This is how I would end the show. So the Arizona State podcast came across somebody who liked a thing on her for on Instagram. She's like, "Don't follow me, follow God, and listen to my podcast."
That's how you plug it. That's how you plug
That's how you
it.
plug it. If you can't follow God, follow me and Cody and listen to this podcast. And this is False Start.